5.9 FM, WEZC.
Liberty Village of Clinton's Memory Lane provides fitness for the mind. Hi, I'm Jill Rieger, Director of Marketing. Our memory care program focuses on an individual's strengths for personalized care. Click on our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
SIU Family Medicine wants the best health for you and your family. Be a champion. Protect your loved ones. The SIU Center for Family Medicine of Lincoln is accepting new patients. Click their icon at DeWittDailyNews.com to schedule your appointment.
Here are the contest rules for WHOW and WEZC Radio. We allow only one winner of any prize from either station per household in a 30-day period. Prizes can be picked up by the winner at our studios inside the Big Red Barn 4 miles south of Clinton on U.S. Highway 51 within 2 weeks of winning. Our office hours are weekdays from 8 till 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Employees of WHOW, WEZC, and their families are not allowed to participate in our contest. Thanks for participating and for listening to WHOW and WEZC.
News time, 8 minutes after 8 o'clock on this Wednesday. Top of the morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded 8 o'clock newscast. We stream to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. The city of Clinton made quick work in its pursuit of a replacement for Taylor Baxter, who has departed for Farmer City. Tuesday night at the Clinton City Council meeting, the council approved Tony Harris to replace Baxter. Harris, who was the longtime leader of the 911 Center for DeWitt County, says it was time for a change.
Well, it was time for a change. I have been the manager of our local 911 and CENTCOM Dispatch Center for 23 years. Prior to that, I've got about 32 years of total service in the 911 dispatch field. But it was time for a change. It's time to hand that over to someone else, and I'll be coming over here across the street and working with the city, and I'll take Taylor's place. And Tim did a lot of good work here when he was here a few years ago, and I appreciate all the work that he's done. And he and I have talked, and I think we're on the same page with some things. But I'm very excited about it. It's kind of ironic. I was tossing around the idea of retiring. I told my staff that that's what my plan was, and I was at a local business here in town, and I won't name any names, but one of the city councilmen approached me, and 3 years, I think it's been 3 years ago, maybe 4, I had tossed around the idea, actually applied for this position, but ended up withdrawing my name. I didn't feel like it was the time right then. But after that meeting with the city councilman, he said he didn't put any pressure on me. He said, "I tell you what, Tony, just think about this. The job's open. I'll call you." This was on a Friday. I'll call you next week. So on Monday, he made the call. My wife and I we had a conversation about it, and we just thought it was a good time and a good opportunity. That's what got me here.
Harris's title will vary slightly from the departing Baxter, who was the city administrator. Harris will be the administrative assistant to the council and explains it will involve a lot of zoning duties.
Well, basically, a big piece of this job is what I've been told is zoning, so that's a big piece of it. I know I'll start on next Monday, and the 13th we have a planning meeting, so that involves zoning and building codes, things like that. So that's going to be a big piece of it. I know that, and basically just being the overall face of the city and helping the council members out on things that they need done, and some grant funding, things like that.
Harris begins his new position with the city of Clinton next Monday, January 13th. The new year means new laws in Illinois. DeWitt County Sheriff Mike Walker has received 17 pages of new laws passed by the Illinois legislature. One allows people to bid on foreclosed houses online rather than in person, which the sheriff believes will be a good thing.
Yeah, the Sheriff's Association, Jim Kajchuk, our executive director, is very good about updating us and keeping us posted on what's going on in Springfield. And right before the new year, I think we got this December 31st, December 30th, somewhere around there, sent us the bills that were going into effect, and there's only 17 pages of it, Seth. So, and that's 17 pages of 2- and 3-line brief descriptions of bills.
Oh my gosh!
I didn't count how many there are, but there's a lot. One of them that is that we are taking advantage of, and we've had this ability to do this, but it's a Senate Bill 2919. Permits judge, the sheriff, or other third party conducting the sale to conduct a judicial sale in person, online, or both their own discretion. So basically what that means is, and what we are going to do, we are going to start having all of our sheriff sales online. So what that means is whenever a home is foreclosed and the bank is going to sell that at a sheriff sale, instead of potential buyers coming to the sheriff's office lobby and actually bidding on that, they can get online through a company called WHOW and be able to bid on that property online. Our first sale is scheduled for February. We're going to be putting information out on our website here in the next week or two, so people can go there. And what we hope to do is hope to be able to get more people involved in that bidding process. I would say probably 1 out of every 15 or 20 actually has somebody that actually shows up and bids. Usually it's the attorney for the bank that shows up, and the bank has a minimum starting bid of what it's going to be, and nobody's there, and then that's what it sells to back to the bank.
Law enforcement is also now required to receive training on identifying and responding to individuals with autism. Sheriff Walker says although it's not a common occurrence, it is important to be trained.
Got one that is going to require the Law Enforcement Training Standards Board develop or approve a course to assist law enforcement officers in identifying and responding to individuals with autism. That's a situation that, you don't hear a lot about it, but, people with autism have different triggers, different things that upset them. One of the things that we have done, we've partnered with the Eagles here in town, started a program, and you can stop by the Clinton Police Department or the Sheriff's Office and pick up a sticker that you can put on your back window. It indicates that a person has some kind of disability in that car, and then you can write in a Sharpie or something, autism or whatever, because you make a traffic stop and you know that it's involving somebody with autism. You can turn your lights off to where only your back lights are on, because sometimes flashing lights upsets a person with autism, or just the way you talk to people, or the flashlight, or different things. So it gives the officer an idea that, hey, there's somebody in here with autism or some other kind of disability, and makes us aware of it so we can adjust appropriately. So now the state is requiring the Training and Standards Board to approve some kind of training for law enforcement officers to help deal with people with autism.
Snowplows and tow trucks are not uncommon to see on the road, and this year in Illinois, any state or municipally owned service vehicle will be able to display green lights alongside the typical ambers and whites.
Another one is tow trucks or vehicles or equipment of the state, local authority, municipality, toll authority. They're going to be able to start using green lights in combination with amber or white lights. So now they're going to be able to add green lights to the amber lights they already have on them. There was some talk at one point to allow them to use red and blue oscillating lights similar to law enforcement, but they shot that down for obvious reasons. But they can use, they're going to be able to add green lights to that now too. So just another attention getter for people driving down the roadway.
These new laws went into effect as of January 1. The WHOW High School Road Tour kicked off its 2025 annual visits with a stop in Cerro Gordo Tuesday morning. On the WHOW Morning Show, Cerro Gordo High School, a junior high school principal, Brandon Willard, told Regional Radio they're working with the Macon County Chamber of Commerce to improve students' interview skills.
2 years ago, we partnered with the Macon County Chamber of Commerce, and Dave Schrock, he does a great job out there. And he started bringing business leaders from the community, from Caterpillar and ADM and all the big companies around the area out and to meet with our kids. Last year, they were so impressed with our seniors and their involvement in the program that they chose to shoot their commercial out here for us. So we had a lot of kids that got some commercial time. But ultimately what it does is it provides our seniors, about 2 hours on a day once a month to get job skill, to develop their job skills, work on mock interviews. But then ultimately the goal is for the ones that are wanting to enter the workforce that some of these companies would hire them at the end of this process. And so it's fun to watch our seniors work with them, and we're going to start that. So it starts up in January. It'll run every month. But yeah, we're excited to get that going again, and our partnership with them has been fantastic.
Keep up with all things Cerro Gordo schools at cgbroncos.org. The farther north you went in Illinois, the less snow you likely encountered after this weekend's snow event. On the WHOW Morning Show Tuesday, Nicole Albano at the National Weather Service in Lincoln told Regional Radio areas from Decatur to Jacksonville and farther south to I-70 received about 8 inches, but the farther north, those totals fall off.
It was quite a snowstorm for several people. Lincoln came in here at the office. We had 6.9 inches. Decatur was around 7 inches as well. And then Springfield, Jacksonville area, they came in with about 8 inches. So there was a pretty heavy swath from about St. Louis eastward into near like the I-70 corridor. So 7 to 9 inch totals were common.
Albano also notes the storm was one of the biggest Central Illinois has gotten in a few years. We're anticipating more snow later this week. We'll have more on that with Albano still this week on Regional Radio. Time now for a look at this morning's obituaries. 81-year-old Charles Chuck W. Johnson of Clinton passed away January 6th at his family residence in Clinton. Services for 81-year-old Charles Chuck W. Johnson will be at 11 a.m. Friday at Calvert Funeral Home in Clinton with Pastor Terry Leach officiating. Burial will follow at Texas Township Cemetery in Clinton with military honors. The visitation is from 5 to 7 p.m. Thursday at the funeral home. The family requests casual attire. Memorials can be directed to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. 71-year-old Richard McConnell of Clinton passed away on January 6th at his family's home in Clinton. A celebration of life service for 71-year-old Richard McConnell will be Sunday, January 12th at 2 p.m. at First Christian Church in Clinton in the Family Life Center. The family has entrusted Calvert Funeral Home of Clinton with cremation rights. Memorials in Richard's name can be directed to Second Chance for Pets of Clinton. 89-year-old Richard Stanley Dick Johnson of Kenny passed away January 4th at his family residence in Kenny. Graveside services will be private for 89-year-old Richard Stanley Dick Johnson at Pleasant Valley Cemetery in Kenny at a later date. Calvert Funeral Home of Clinton is in charge of arrangements. Memorials can be directed to Second Chance Pet Adoption of Clinton. News time, 19 minutes after 8 o'clock on this Wednesday. Coming up in sports here this morning, Monticello girls, Argenta Orienta boys were winners yesterday. Blue Ridge boys were winners, and a significant milestone for a Knights basketball player last night as well. Those stories come up in sports on this Wednesday. We stream to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Get news and sports anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com. A look at sports on the way next.
Central Illinois' news, agriculture, and sports station. WHOW on all its platforms, AM, FM, and streamed online, are bringing all the great things happening at our local high schools to the radio in January. We're hitting the road for the WHOW High School Road Tour. Join us when we broadcast live from Monticello High School from 9 until 10 in the morning on Monday, January 13th. We'll be interviewing the Monticello High School principal, athletic director, student council president, and one of the club student presidents. This WHOW High School Road Tour stop at Monticello High School is brought to you by these sponsors. Dobson Heating, Air Conditioning, and Refrigeration in Monticello, serving the heating and cooling needs of our neighbors since 1980.